This morning, something happened that won't make the news, and no one will talk about outside the family. But it deserves our attention. A 72-year-old woman didn't wake up the way she usually did. She didn't collapse. She didn't scream for help. And there were no flashing lights or loud crashes. It was quiet, subtle, a moment most people would miss. She had woken up, sat up, stood too fast. And in that single moment, something in her body didn't respond the way it used to. Her blood pressure dropped. Her vision blurred. Her balance faltered. It lasted only seconds, but that's all it takes at her age. When her daughter found her later that morning, she was unconscious, having hit her head during the fall. She survived, thankfully, but she won't be the same. A hip fractured, speech slightly slurred, and a mind full of what-ifs. And what happened to her? It wasn't caused by disease or genetics or fate. It was something many of us do without thinking. A morning mistake, one for that quietly steals safety and health from people over 60. And unless we understand them, these tiny rituals, these automatic choices we make each morning, can cost us far more than we imagine. Most people don't think about the way they wake up. We just do it. Eyes open, body moves, day begins. But for those of us beyond 60, the body doesn't react like it once did. After 7 or 8 hours of lying still, the body is in a fragile state. Circulation is slower. Joints are stiff. The brain is still catching up. And yet many people, men and women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, do the same thing they've always done. Wake, sit up quickly, swing their legs over bed, and stand. But here's the problem. As we age, our body's ability to regulate blood pressure changes. When we're lying down, blood pools in the lower parts of the body. When we suddenly sit or stand, gravity pulls that blood even lower, leaving the brain with less oxygen-rich blood for a moment. In younger adults, the body adjusts in seconds. In older adults, the adjustment is slower, sometimes too slow. That's called orthostatic hypotension. You may know it better as that dizzy spell, or that moment when everything felt a little off. It's more than just a moment. It's a warning sign. Every year, thousands of older adults suffer serious injuries from falls that begin this way. And the fall isn't always the biggest problem. It's the broken hip, the hospitalization, the surgery, the weeks of lying still, the muscle loss, the confusion, the way it pulls someone out of their normal life and into a slow, uncertain recovery. And for some, sadly, it's the beginning of a permanent decline. But it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. The first morning mistake, rising too quickly, is one of the easiest to prevent. You don't need special equipment or medication. You don't need to change your diet or go to a class. You just need to slow down. Picture this. You open your eyes. Instead of bolting upright, you take a few deep breaths. You move your fingers and toes. You let the blood start to circulate again. Then you slowly roll to your side, not in a rush. You give your body time. After a few moments, you slide your legs down toward the floor and sit up, placing your feet firmly on the ground. But you don't stand yet. You sit. You breathe. Maybe you look out the window. Maybe you say a quiet thank you for another day. You give your body the respect it's earned. And then, when you feel steady, you gently stand up, holding on to something if you need to. It takes less than a minute. But that 1 minute could save you months of recovery. It could protect your ability to walk, to dress yourself, to stay in your own home. It's not about being afraid. It's about being aware. Edward, a retired teacher from Oregon, used to pride himself on being active and sharp well into his 70s. He always said age was just a number. And to an extent, he was right. Until the morning he stood up too fast, blacked out for 2 seconds, and fell backward into his dresser. He didn't break anything, but the fall shook his confidence. His doctor explained what happened and introduced him to the slow wake method. Now, Edward says he feels more in control, more grounded, like he's giving his body a head start before the race of the day begins. But the mistake isn't just about how fast you get up. It's also about what you expect of yourself in those first few moments. Many people, especially those who have lived independent, high-achieving lives, expect their bodies to respond like they always have. You've climbed stairs raise families, travel the world. You push through sickness, pain, even loss. So why would standing up feel dangerous? Because aging is quiet. It doesn't shout. It whispers. And if we don't listen to those whispers, they become warnings. And if we don't heed those warnings, they become crises. You might not notice your balance slipping until it's gone. You might not notice how long it takes your vision to adjust until you're staring at the floor from an angle you never meant to see. This is not about fear. It's about empowerment, about knowing what's happening in your body and learning to work with it instead of against it. It's about honoring the incredible machine that has carried you through decades and giving it the gentle care it needs in return. And here's something else no one tells you. When you slow down your mornings, you actually gain more time, more clarity, more connection. Instead of rushing through the motions, you begin your day with intention. You become present to the light, filtering through the curtains. You notice the birds. You feel the softness of your blanket, the warmth of the floor under your feet. You begin your day not with panic or haste, but with grace. For many older adults, mornings can feel disorienting, not just physically, but emotionally. The world feels quieter, the phone rings less, the house has fewer voices. So these first moments matter. They set the tone for the rest of the day. And when you give yourself a gentle, safe start, your body feels it. Your mind responds. You carry that calm into the hours ahead. You might think, but I've been doing this for years and I've never fallen. And that might be true, but that's like saying you've never been in a car crash, so you don't need a seatbelt. The truth is, aging is cumulative. What didn't hurt you last year may affect you this year. What didn't cause a problem at 65 might be dangerous at 72. That's not weakness. That's reality. And the way we adapt to reality defines how long and how well we live. So if there's one thing I hope you take away from this, it's this: the way you wake up matters. Not just for your mood or your routine or your energy, but for your safety, your independence, and your future. Don't let habit steal your health. Don't let automatic movements rob you of strength you've worked your whole life to build. Choose to rise with care, with breath, with patience. Your body deserves that. You deserve that. Because sometimes the most important change you can make for your health is the one no one else sees. It's the quiet moment before the world wakes up. It's the stillness before your feet hit the floor. It's that deep breath, that slow roll, that steady rise. And it can make all the difference between a good day and a life-altering fall. This is only the first of 4 dangerous but common morning mistakes. But it might be the one that saves your life. Because when it comes to growing older with dignity and strength, it's not the big things. It's the small ones done right day after day. So tomorrow morning, take that moment. Give your body the time it needs. Because aging isn't about giving up. It's about showing up differently. And how you rise can be your greatest act of resilience. It's not something most people would even notice. You wake up, sit at the edge of the bed, and before you even stand, you do what you've always done. Reach for the coffee, that familiar aroma, the warmth in your hands, the little ritual that makes you feel like the day has truly begun. For years, maybe even decades, it's been your morning companion. 1 cup, maybe 2. It gives you energy, clears the fog, gets your heart going. But that's exactly where the problem begins. Because after 60, the heart doesn't need a jolt. It needs a rhythm, a steady, gentle rhythm. And caffeine, for all its comforting familiarity, is often the hidden reason why many older adults begin their day with racing pulses, sudden anxiety, or even silent heart irregularities. Most people don't connect the dots. You sip your coffee and think, now I feel awake. But 5 or 10 minutes later, your chest feels a little tight. Your hands shake slightly. Your heart seems to flutter or skip. You wonder if it's stress. You wonder if it's age. But rarely do we stop to consider that something so ordinary, so simple and innocent, could be quietly straining the very organ that keeps us alive. And the truth is, it's not just the caffeine. It's the timing. Drinking coffee immediately after waking up, especially on an empty stomach, is a shock to the system. Your cortisol levels, the hormone that helps wake your body, are naturally highest in the morning. Adding caffeine at the peak of cortisol release doesn't boost your energy. It confuses your body. It causes a surge of stimulation that your older cardiovascular system may not be ready for. Your blood pressure spikes. Your heart rate increases. Your already dehydrated body becomes more depleted. And in someone over 60, that can lead to dizziness, irregular heartbeat, or even heart palpitations. Margaret, an 81-year-old widow living alone, used to start every day with 2 strong cups of black coffee. She loved the quiet moments at her kitchen table. The sunrise through the window, the sound of birds in the background, her memories swirling with the steam in her cup. But one morning, after feeling her heart flutter and her vision go slightly dark at the edges, she called her doctor. Tests revealed nothing too serious, no blockages, no major arrhythmia. But her cardiologist told her something that changed everything. At your age, the way you stimulate your heart matters more than you think. He explained that while her heart was still healthy, the sharp spike in adrenaline from her coffee, especially before eating anything, was putting her at risk. She was essentially slamming her foot on the gas before the engine had warmed up. The solution wasn't to eliminate coffee altogether, but to rethink how and when she drank it. Now, Margaret waits at least an hour after waking, eats a light breakfast, drinks a glass of water, and only then enjoys her coffee. She says her mornings feel calmer now, less jittery, more balanced, and most importantly, her heart feels steady. What Margaret learned is something every older adult should know. The heart after 60 isn't weak. It's just different. It doesn't respond to stimulation the same way it used to. The tissues are less elastic. The electrical pathways that control rhythm can become more sensitive. The arteries can stiffen slightly. These changes are natural, but they mean the heart no longer appreciates sudden surprises. And caffeine, particularly when consumed too early and without preparation, is exactly that, a surprise the heart would rather avoid. And the danger isn't always obvious. You might not feel chest pain. You might not notice the irregular beats. But silently, gradually, your blood pressure may creep upward. Your hydration may suffer. Your digestion may slow. All of this compounds the challenges your body already faces as it ages. And what begins as a slightly uncomfortable morning can, over time, contribute to serious issues like atrial fibrillation, stroke risk, and persistent high blood pressure. It's a difficult truth to accept for many. Coffee is more than a drink. It's an identity, a comfort, a moment of peace in a world that often feels too fast, too uncertain. But as with so many things in aging, the goal isn't to eliminate joy. It's to make joy safer. You don't have to give up your morning ritual, but you may need to shift it. Honor your heart not by avoiding pleasure, but by timing it with care. Think of your morning as a slow unfolding, not a switch you flip. When you first wake, your body needs water. Sleep dehydrates us, our cells, our organs, our brain. Starting with water gives the body what it actually craves. Just a glass. Room temperature. Before anything else. Then move. Gently. Stretch. Walk to the bathroom. Let your blood begin to flow. Maybe you sit in a chair and breathe deeply for a few minutes. These quiet actions send a message to your nervous system. We are awake, but not alarmed. We are starting, not sprinting. Then comes breakfast. Not heavy, but complicated. Something light, but nourishing. Fruit, oatmeal, a boiled egg, a slice of whole grain toast. The food signals your metabolism to wake up, and it cushions your stomach, which may have grown more sensitive over the years. Only after that, after water, after movement, after food, does coffee make its appearance. And what a difference it makes when it does. The jitteriness fades. The sharp edge softens. The pleasure remains, but the price is gone. James, a 67-year-old former pilot, used to experience what he called mini storms each morning. Racing thoughts, tight chest, cold hands. He chalked it up to aging nerves. But once he delayed his coffee, drank water first, and began his days with simple walk around the block before sipping his brew, the storms disappeared. I didn't know how anxious I felt until I finally stopped feeling anxious, he said. Now my mornings feel like landings, not takeoffs. That simple reframe, landing, not taking off, is something powerful to hold on to as we age. In our younger years, mornings were all about speed and productivity. Get up, get out, get going. But after 60, mornings are something else entirely. They are sacred. They are slow. They are the moment where the rest of the day begins to take shape. If you fill that moment with peace, your body follows. The problem is, no one talks about this. Your doctor may check your heart once a year. Your friends may laugh about being caffeine addicts. No one warns you that the drink you've trusted for so long may be the very thing pushing your heart into discomfort. And because it's so normal, we never question it. We never ask, is this helping me or hurting me? We just keep sipping, keep shaking, keep assuming that this unease is part growing old. But it's not. At least it doesn't have to be. There's a quiet kind of wisdom in learning how your body speaks to you. Maybe your hands feel colder after coffee. Maybe your stomach turns slightly. Maybe you feel anxious for no reason. These aren't coincidences. They are signals. And the older we get, the more important it becomes to listen. You don't have to give up coffee to protect your heart, but you do need to build a better relationship with it. Respect its power. Acknowledge its effect. Time in a way that honors the beautiful, complex machine that is your aging body. Because here's the hard truth. Most older adults aren't harmed by huge dramatic events. Not fires or car crashes or storms. They're harmed by the quiet, repeated things. The small habits that wear down systems day after day. The things they've always done that now need to be done differently. And coffee, early, strong, and empty stomach, is one of them. So tomorrow, when you wake up, ask yourself, what does my heart need from me today? Does it need a push or does it need patience? Does it need a jolt or does it need gentleness? The answer might surprise you. And the results will absolutely change how you feel. Not just in the morning, but for years to come. Your heart has carried you through decades. Through love, grief, triumph, heartbreak. It has been with you in silence and in celebration. It has done its job without asking for applause. Now, in this stage of life, maybe it's time you ask what you can do for in return. And it might be as simple as waiting an hour, drinking a glass of water, eating a little,